Okay, so let's now get back on track to what I was experiencing, I would say, up until my 89th day, because I was let go before the 90-day mark. And there's a reason why. We'll get into that. So during this whole time, I am creating, I am cleaning up, I am meeting new people, I am getting new clients, and the clients are sending emails to my director and to the owner, and expressing how they love working with Jackie, blah, 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 right? And the reason I know this is because either the owner or the director, when we would have our leadership meetings, because we would have a one-on-one every single week. I would have a one-on-one with the director, and then I would have a one-on-one with the owner every week, okay? And then we would have a group leadership meeting, I would say mostly on Fridays, right? Sometimes Thursday on Friday, but most of the time it was a Friday of the week, okay? And this was every week. So 3 times a week, I was in leadership meetings, right? All this time in my individual meetings with the owner, with the director, in the group meetings, not one bad word was mentioned about me, nothing. It was, oh my God. You remember the show, Everybody Loves, I think it's Everybody Loves Chris, even though I didn't watch it. Like, I just like that title. That's how I was feeling, like, wow, everybody liked me. But I always looked at that as a red flag, because my mom always said, Jackie, I had went through an incident as a young child in the church, and she was like, Jackie, you can't let people get under your skin. She would just say in her humble, calm voice, they talked about Jesus, so who are we? You got to get used to that. At a young age, she told me this, and she was so right, you know? And she stated, if everyone likes you, is when you have to figure out what you're doing wrong, because everyone should not like you. That stuck with me at the very early age of 12, 13 when she said this. And so that was a red flag, because I didn't ask, oh, how am I doing type of thing, because we had these meetings every week. It was brought to my attention, Jackie, you're doing good. On top of that, we had a, I don't know what her real title was, but I love this lady, but she was like a social worker, right? And it was something that, it was a benefit that the owner gave to her managers. And we would report to this lady every month. She didn't work in our capacity, but she was like a social worker. We report to her, and we would share what we're going through. It was like a therapeutic moment. I forget the name of what they really call it. So if you guys know, you can drop it in the comments. But I felt like every company needs this, where each person can have someone they can talk to about what they've been experiencing, whether it's personal, because you can get personal. You can talk about personal things and how that affects your job. You can talk about your job and how it affects you when you go home, all of that. And what was nice about this lady, when I was sharing with her my experience with certain people, because then she would ask, well, how are you doing with this person, that person? And I would share it with her. And I was like, you really want me to be honest? And I love the fact that she was like, yes. And I was like, okay. Because my thing is, whatever I tell you behind closed doors, right? I've already accepted the fact that somewhere down the line, someone's going to share it with someone else. So own up to whatever you say behind closed doors, because eventually it will come out. That's just how life is. A lot of people don't do it intentionally, but most people do, right? So anything I shared, for me and my thought process, once I say it, it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to come back and say I didn't say it, right? So what I was experiencing, the flags I was seeing, she was like, oh, wow. So you already seeing this. And she loved my mindset, right? But I love the fact that I was able to share this with her. And she gave me some feedback on how to handle certain situations, which I've already knew how to handle, but it's always a breath of fresh air when you get feedback from other people, right? Because we don't know everything. So anyway, that was that. So I share that because I don't know if she was going back letting management know what I was sharing. I didn't care, but my eyes was already open to, okay, she's probably going to tell them what I'm dealing with. And I was okay with that though, right? I just didn't know how that whole process worked, but I love the process that every month I can have this girl to talk to. She was so nice. With that said, everything that came back to me was, oh my God, you're great at your job. Clients love you. When we have our 90 days, and I get this, the owner said this, when we have our 90 days, it's just preliminary, but that's just what we have to do. But don't worry, you're going to be okay. She said this to me every time we had our individual one-on-one, right? So you think about it. I was there for 89 days, right? Pretty much almost 3 months. And every week there was a meeting, right? There was interaction with each of the leaders in the leadership team, right? So if there was a problem with me, I didn't know because nobody ever told me. If there was a problem with me, I didn't hear about it because there was a lot of gossiping going on about other people at the company, including my director, meaning there were people unhappy with her work, her attitude, right? Even people unhappy with the owner, even though I understood the owner more. I think because she was so direct. And I feel when people are direct, at least for me, you know where they stand. It's the ones that straddle the fence that gets me, you know. And the people that straddle the fence, what they say, like, okay, you got some issues with me, or where are we going with this conversation type of thing. That's how it was with my director. So let's fast forward now to when I started feeling more issues with my director. Stay tuned.